Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Cashflow Digital, sponsored by ODYS. Up there, link is below if you want to grab yourself $100 free sign-up bonus. Make sure you do take advantage of that deal. But today, Mike, search outside the box. What the fuck is that, and what does it mean?
It's actually just an event. It's a live stream on the 28th. Everyone should go watch it if they're doing SEO to see what the hell they talk about. So, but no, there, with the 13th, did you see? I saw a lot of shit happening this last month. Have you seen anything or no?
I've only really seen kind of gains, if I'm being honest. And I'm not doing that to be arrogant or anything. I've not seen anything dip in any kind of major way at my end anyway. So, I've not seen anything crazy.
I'm looking at 4 networks right now, different people. One, there's people that have 2 networks, 3 networks. And there are some dampening effects going on when it comes to templates and duplicate content is what it looks like. But I mean, that's to be expected, right? And when you're talking about 500 sites or 1,000 sites, it's a little different than a single site. Brad, are you noticed anything with because you're spinning, you're not just doing duplicated content with a token.
I did in appliance. I ran a test. It wasn't really a test. I just put it out there. I did like 9,000 pages. I just put like the top 1,000 in an indexer, and it's getting traffic, clicks, and calls. And that was within the past few weeks. So, and
it's one site though, right?
Yeah, that would be one site. Yeah.
Okay, but is there spin tax or is it just the
no spin tax on that one? No,
it's just the location change.
Yeah, just the short codes. Yeah, city, state abbreviation is switched out on all of them. So
yeah, that's what I'm seeing, but it's on larger sizes of site groups. Yeah, no, it's interesting because I have people coming to me and saying this isn't working, that isn't working. But there's always a specific that they're using or doing that is now being turned off. And some of the times when something stops working for a little bit, it just means Google is collecting data to rescore that market. So I would say that if you're seeing tactics that usually work for your markets and your geos, watch for when it turns back on, because usually it just means they collected data, they filtered out manipulation, and they're rescoring that market and those queries. It doesn't mean it's gone for good, right?
Or does it?
Or does it? That's right. No, not in this case. Not what I'm thinking about. It does not.
When did you see this has happened? This is all coming out in a webinar, right?
What's that?
I don't know if I'm just making this up as I'm going along, but this search outside the box shit.
Yeah, it's an event. They're going to stream it. I mean, realistically, to me, all it means really is they're going to be talking about their direction. So if we're doing SEO, it's something to pay attention to, is why I brought it up to people. You might want to pay attention to Search On 2022 and see what they're saying about the direction that they're taking, because usually that has to do with what they've been doing the past year anyways, and where they're going to continue taking it, right? So I would say that it's important to go to that. It's important to go to NFG 2022 to see how Brad's been taking advantage of what they are doing, because he takes advantage of everyone.
He always does. And if you guys are wondering what the hell we're talking about, nfg2022.com. The link is below Brad's face. Let me just get rid of the screen. But the link is below Brad's face, nfg2022.com, which is next Monday.
I've been muted. My mic messed up. I had to unplug it and plug it back in. And then apparently I was muted. So sorry about that. So NFG 2022, I sent out an email earlier. Dude, I was looking at the first presentation, and if people take what we show in the first presentation, that will pay for the entire event like many times over. And I'm going to talk about hedgehogs as well. So
hedgehogs. But Flavia's got a question. Where can I check a domain if it's a registered trademark? How you guys do when do you ever check
I just look around honestly and see if someone's already using it. So
you can just do a trademark search on uspto.gov.
Yeah,
too.
Something like that would work.
Yeah, you're probably better not doing manual. Do what Mike says. Check it on a government database or something like that. You're going to get a lot more from it.
I have an interesting story. I won't go into the whole thing right now, but a dude that bought a domain that Mike and I know, he bought a domain off of Namecheap. You know how they have like the premium domains? You can buy them for X amount. You know, whoever's selling it will get the we'll set the price. So he buys it. He's like, hey, is this worth like $1,000? This domain? I was like, yeah, if you don't buy it, I will. Because he sent it to me and I looked at it. I was like, yeah, that looks solid. I was like, how did you buy it? Wherever you're looking at it at, and then I'll pay you $2,000 for it. You send it over. He's like, we can just work together on it. It's like, fuck that. I don't want to work with you. But anyway, he's getting it set up. It's getting calls already. He just threw up like a quick theme and everything, had his call number up. Then gets a DMCA or DCMA, however you say it. The people are accusing him of stealing it from their GoDaddy account, and they got it taken down because of that. It's fucking crazy. They let their domain expire, basically. This other dude, unless the dude that sold it on Namecheap actually hacked their GoDaddy account. But yeah,
usually that is not going to happen because the FBI gets involved when you steal shit like that, dude.
Yes.
We had I told you when Just Lux had a breach like that, there was a kid on the East Coast that socially engineered his way to my partner's name and email, and got one of our devs to send emails to him at a different email address. Just through phone calls and shit, and ended up auctioning off our domain that was making $500,000 a month, right? And so when that happened, we ended up having to get the fucking FBI involved because they were auctioning the domain, and it was a full.
That's crossing state lines and everything.
Oh yeah, it's federal. I mean, I had a partner that didn't get paid by a client. It's why we always tell people don't fucking take stuff down once someone makes you mad, because
we've had to stop multiple people from doing that. Yeah.
I had a partner do a year in Fed because he went into someone's website and changed the homepage and put a message up, and he was in California. The client was in Texas, and that's federal offense and crossing state lines. And you don't want to fuck around.
Don't get angry when a client cancels, because it's going to happen.
For many reasons, right?
Yeah. Oh, I should take down all these pages that, these internal pages that are bringing in all their traffic, blah, blah, blah. I was like, please don't, because I don't want to be involved in this. Just leave them up. It'll degrade over time. It'll go down. They'll think they can do it without you for a while. Then they'll be back, or, they've forgotten about you at that point. But who cares? You made X amount for X amount of months. Be happy with that.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
Very much so. It's a business decision for them usually, and you don't really have a right to get upset about someone else's business decisions anyways, dude. Unless they rip you off, then you can get upset. Just don't.
You do have those instances. In this case, it wasn't a rip off. I mean,
right.
It was a client for 18 months, which in SEO terms is pretty good. Pretty good run. So if you can get 6 months or more, you're typically doing all right.
Yeah.
Under 6 months sucks. It's not worth the setup.
Yeah, it'll piss you off if it's a month or two. But I mean, typically when that happens, it's you didn't do a good job of telling them, going through the process and setting expectations correctly. So that's why I don't fuck with clients. I've determined I'm just sticking with PPL unless a client comes through and it's, I can apply what I know how to do easily. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. So.
Right.
It's got to be easy and stress-free. I have had a few clients over the years where just the stress and argument levels is just not worth the fucking money.
There's no winning an argument with a client either. for the most part.
Nah,
They're not gonna leave you.
it's everyone's got their own opinions on how things should be done, but I don't see why someone would hire you and then argue with you over
That
what
is
you're
annoying.
doing.
Well, it's because most SEOs don't know what they're fucking doing, and they don't have a process to follow, and they're kind of like, let me try this, let me try that. I know you weren't doing that, but they're used to that, and it's a delayed gratification thing as well. Like, it's going to take time to build this up, but trust me, it will get there.
Yeah, it's it's never good. I've had a lot of fallouts, and obviously it's not anyone's. It's not ideal to be sitting arguing with people constantly either.
Do you still run an agency that does SEO, that has SEO clients, or no? I know you don't run it personally, but are you still involved in one?
Yeah, we still have one, but you're talking 4 or 5 clients tops.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I've obviously got a link building agency as well, if you like. And
I was talking about the traditional SEO agency.
The traditional one, there's 4 or 5 there. We don't particularly want to do that. We are trying to get more people over to the link side of things. We're quite happy to supply links and stuff like that, but
way easier that way.
We don't particularly want to be doing the content strategy or any of that bullshit, because all of that stuff can be done by anyone. It's
anyone with an Ahref or SEMrush account, they can shit something out that looks halfway decent. So.
Exactly. So I think that is where I'm going with it. You want to be able to make money, and I think obviously something like links is easy. You pay for 10 links, you get delivered 10 links, end of fucking story. Whether there's an update, whether whatever, the customer can pick the anchor text, the URL that it goes to, all of that stuff. We can obviously help with that as well, but I think you're taking a lot of the stress and arguments out of it.
You get selling links. Do you get much argument on the side of the client that this link isn't helpful, versus do they nitpick much? I know you'll get that regardless. But.
You get that regardless. Most people are quite happy with what you're doing. I had a debate with a chap last night, and we had a bit of a debate. But at the end of the day, we're all selling the same shit. It's guest posts, niche edits, whatever. And as long as you've got some kind of quality metrics on board, whether you're looking for links on websites with traffic, they're relevant, blah 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 blah. Hopefully that's what we're doing that's better than what other people are doing. We're not selling some shitty PBNs with no traffic or whatever.
That's what I sell, yeah.
Better than that, but but again, you still get arguments on it. Oh, these are still not fucking that great and whatever. You can't fucking win, man.
My brother tried to do the SEO agency thing. He landed a client because he had gone to school with the guy who was working for a 3D printing company. I had to fucking go down there. We had to work hard to close him. I was down in it was in his area anyway. So we went through it. I went through the pages with Cog, showed Adam how to do that and everything like that. His rankings are fucking going through the roof. We got him niche edit links. I think I ordered them from Mike actually back in the day. On sites about screen printing and what was it? The 3D printing is a big thing. So sites about 3D printing, shit like that. And then his client cancels after a month because he called it a bait and switch because the links weren't as pretty as he thought that they should be. Like the sites that the links were on weren't as pretty. His rankings were fucking hockey stick, like no shit. Granted, they didn't have a lot of room, to go down, but nowhere to go but up. But it was just fucking like dealing with clients crazy. You've got to have a system, I guess. And I've just never had the system to actually deal with the clients on an efficient basis.
Back in the day, when I had a proper agency and we were doing websites and everything, genuinely hand on heart, I don't think I ever made a fucking profit on a website because of the debate, the changes, this, that, the next thing. I wasn't priced.
My per hour rate was like shockingly low. Crazy. Like when you add up all the time that you fucking go, you're like, oh great, I just worked for a month for $1 an hour. So
yeah, I think where people are involved, opinion and all that stuff. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know what? It wouldn't be so bad if everyone's fucking opinions didn't suck so much.
If they were all the same as Mike's, then they'd be all right.
Exactly, dude. Everyone out there that's not getting hit right now should be happy. Like, have you seen what they're doing? Like, it was the 25th where they rolled helpful content. They rolled the core on the 12th, and then today they started rolling another product review. Like, if you're coming through this, I'm gaining traffic. Like, Craig, you should be very happy with yourself because you're rolling.
Seen quite a few NFG members say that they've seen nothing but up.
Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, it really should be, unless you're, what's up, Willie? Unless you're fucking, you're not building out those clusters and those topics properly and shit, and you're off entity, then you'll have issues. But other than that, you shouldn't be having issues on individual sites.
Yeah, I seen the guy Corey, or however you say it, the Turkish dude. He's got 35 websites, all got traffic gains. I think he posted that in his LinkedIn. Every single fucking one.
See, I don't even like.
What do
I don't even look at traffic. I just look at call volume, and I know which sites are doing okay, which sites aren't, based on my call reel account. So I go in. Call volume looked fucking good yesterday. I'm still rolling. So it's kind of like a step forward.
One of the things I keep seeing people miss is that they're keeping their impression count and their position, but losing traffic. And a lot of people aren't paying attention to that fact that the landscape changed in their SERPs, right? And a lot of those were affected by video. And so a lot of people should be actually looking at video right now. It's pretty common, actually. I guess we're just a little drip in the fucking huge ass billion of website fucking internet, but it's common for what I'm seeing with publishers and things like that, where they are literally being pushed down by the SERP landscape and what's in the architecture of that page and shit. So if you start seeing those pages and that are dropping down, they're staying where they were ranked, and you're losing traffic, you need to start looking at what media you're using on the page.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Mike dropping bombs. Well,
I actually need to message you, Willie. I've got someone I want to introduce you to because I think there's something you guys could do together.
Mr. Jones is coming to the UK, actually.
Who
It's
is
not that far of a trip for him, is it?
Jonesy? Oh, come on, man.
No.
Jones, Philippines, it's like, fuck, it's further away than America.
Oh,
Jones
is it?
Fucking
I don't own a globe, so I wouldn't know. And I only operate the Eastern Time.
I don't own a globe. I don't own a globe, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But I will hit you up on Messenger, brother.
If you're not in Eastern time, Brad's not fucking interested. As I found out to my thing today, I said, Brad, like, what slot am I on? And he fought for NFG 2022. I said, like, is that my time zone, your time zone? What the fuck?
I didn't think of it.
It's only Eastern time, dude. I don't fucking talk in any.
I made a note in the sheet now. All times Eastern. So
all times Eastern.
You saw the hotel in Malta, didn't you?
I've not heard from that girl.
So Emily is out of town for the week. Like, she's back next week, but the hotel's sick, bro.
Is it? I've not seen.
Is Emily that girl that keeps invoicing me?
No, she's with Sigma. That one's with Addie.
She never. I got the thing saying she's out until 26, but yeah, I've not seen the hotel. Fuck all, but
it's Excelsior. It's sick.
No gentleman here, though, unfortunately.
What's that?
No gentleman here, unfortunately.
Nah. What's up, Dune?
Dune is there.
Be a sick name. Alex is gonna jump out into Malta, I think, dude.
Who is?
Alex.
AMW.
Oh, AMW. Alex Maxwell. I don't think I've actually met Alex in person.
That's fortunate.
Yeah, I've been talking to Alex since 2014 online, but I've never met him. I have this picture of a beautiful tennis coach, but then I saw a picture. And he looks like a Brit, dude. And I don't know what to say other than that. He's not Scottish.
all of them things that you were saying about Alex off air before, were they all true?
About what? Oh, off air. Yeah. We did have that affair.
I don't see how, but whatever. I mean,
yeah, if I haven't met him, that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it must be the accent.
Every time I see Carl, I feel like someone's gonna break my legs.
Because someone is.
Yeah, he does look like a hard bastard, Carol. Probably the loveliest guy.
That movie, The Limey, dude. It reminds me of that movie, The Limey.
He puts his cigarette out in his palm and then just keeps hiking.
But Dean Signori, 14 days to SEO Underground. SEOunderground.co.uk, guys. There's still tickets left. Make sure you join us in the UK if you want to see.
That's literally Brad's twin, that look that Dean has on his face, bro.
Wow, that's much sexier than me.
Dean,
his is more the soft, I'm going to be on a video game cover. Mine's more the, I'm going to kill you.
Dean, I don't know, dude. Dean looks like he's going to just stab me, staring through me.
He looks like the dude from Deadpool in the very beginning. You know, when he's fighting in all the cars and shit.
Yep.
He's a muscly fucker, and he's like, yeah, I don't go to the gym, Craig. And you're like, Dean, I know you go to the gym. Like, fucking look at you. And he stands and poses these. He's like, Craig, I've not been in the gym for 2 years. I'm like,
that's what Dean and Craig do. They stand around and pose for each other and take pictures, bro.
This is all on a Zoom call.
This is on his fucking Facebook.
How many banana hammocks were involved? 1 or 2?
But guys, do put your questions in the chat if you do have any questions you want to ask, whether it's about anything at all. It really doesn't matter.
Craig, do you use Haro? Do you help a reporter out?
No. That seems like work.
It seems like work. Do I use it? Do I do it personally? No, but I've got a Haro person, yeah.
You have someone on staff, or you are out, or you're buying services.
I'm buying services for that. I mean, you could. Here's the thing, right? I'll tell you a funny story. I've got a mate, right, and he's doing really well with his business. And he's like, Craig, hook me up with your Haro girl. And he says to the Haro girl, I want to buy 50 fucking links a month from you. And she's like, dude, like, what the fuck? I can't supply that amount. A lot of people don't understand what Haro is, but you know, if you're in a niche, there might only be 4 times in a month that a journalist is looking for a story or an article based on your niche. So it's hard to scale. It's hard to get volume. And that's where my friend's like, dude, he's got a big budget. And he's like, dude, I'll fucking buy 50.
That's interesting, because you don't necessarily need all your links to be what you get provided with from a service like Haro. So you might only need 1 or 2 of those a month compared to what's going on in that market, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's something that should be in the back pocket to use when needed. But yeah, I don't know if going and saying, let me grab every link I can, and that's my links, and I'm just doing that.
That's just how SEOs are taught.
Yeah, that's true.
He just thought, like, I don't know what was going through his fucking head, but he just thought, like, you could just get whatever you wanted.
Just keep buying.
This is like help a reporter out. You just keep buying. He doesn't realize there's a process there, and you know, you've got the opportunity to pitch to these journalists through Haro. That's what it is. He thought, just fucking give me the volume I need.
He needs to read what's the holiday book? Trust Me, I'm Lying. He talks about
I'm Lying.
Yeah, pretty in depth.
It's a great book.
It's a really good book, and it's like, dude, this is SEO that he's doing, or it's like advertising promotion. Yeah,
no, it is. That's why they shifted it towards digital PR, and you know, all those firms popped up for digital PR, because that's what the old school companies understand, you know. Well, and if you think about it, when you have a business of a certain size and you've hit a page rank of 5 or something, or 6, and you're already up at you're in mid to high page rank, those links you're buying in marketplaces that you're pushing at pages aren't necessarily doing much for you. And so you need a way to minimize your budget and minimize your off-page costs, which means now you need to start traditional channels to gather those links. And so when there's nothing wrong with when people
you're getting a massive amount of direct traffic off of those traditional ones.
Exactly.
You're supposed
to.
A
lot.
You know.
There's a lot coming there. So when someone says I do SEO and I'm doing it this way, it might be working for them because they're working on something with super high like trunk PR, like a really hefty fucking domain, that will
Probably
move.
pretty hefty. Yes.
Yeah, right. That passes page rank to everything that comes up, and they only need to go and publish, because they'll get published through RSS or through a press release or like a help a reporter out type outreach link or something. And that will do the movement they need because they have an innate PR that's going to return on the link building from the past. And so it's very different to do SEO for a well-established site with high PR than it is to do it for a site you've just put up and you're trying to come in and take a market.
The best kind of client to get and the quickest results is one that you get that they've hired a PR agency because that's what they knew ahead of time. That was not an SEO agency, but it said it would help. And then you make like the smallest tweaks, like the smallest changes to on page. You do some internal linking and boom, like it's just.
We'll take the whole site up. You're talking revenue upon revenue percentage increases. I mean, it's insane.
Every month. Yeah. It's crazy.
When you do that and you can sell a package like an SEO, I'm going to focus on this cluster, or one cluster a month or one page a month, whatever that is, and go in and do that internal linking, optimize each page a little bit. It'll pop so fast. You don't have to touch off page a lot of the time.
I was actually, I was driving, so I was listening to a book. It's one that I just downloaded off of YouTube. You can be good at almost anything. And his big thing is like, you've got like these experts and you're going. And he talks about, it's something that I feel like a lot of SEOs should apply to their daily lives, business, whatever. He talks about at a certain point, because he was playing guitar when he was younger, at a certain point, you hit that wall. It's like your marginal benefit per time put in like shrinks drastically. And you can think about it in terms of like websites, in terms of like being SEO. Like I know a lot of SEOs, I've got to be the best SEO out there. And you go to a client meeting, I'm better than John's plumbing at plumbing services. So why am I not ranked above them? Well, we're not providing plumbing services here. We're providing this. So he talks about like actually taking let's say you take a website up to the max. All right. So you've hit that maximum that you're going to do, and the marginal benefit of link building at that point is minimal. So what I would probably suggest at that point is circle back, start working on your network, build up another site that gets to that point, then circle back, build up another site that gets to that point. I feel like that's going to be much more worth your time as an SEO versus I've got to keep building this one site. I've got to keep building this one site, and it kind of spreads you out more, and you've got multiple revenue streams at that point.
Absolutely, dude. No, it's an interesting thing because you really should, and you know where my head's at because what I did this last fucking weekend, bro. But yeah. It reminds me of why the networks and the mini nets are there in the first place, and websites are there in the first place, dude. Which literally is to generate revenue. That's the only reason they're there. And I think what people forget, like I've talked to 3 people.
And I forget it too.
It's a cycle for me, for sure. And I've
look at that site on the office hours a few weeks ago or a month ago or whatever. You're like, hey, this page has no content, but it's ranking page 2. Exactly. It's like, go back and fucking take care of the shit you got first.
Well, and then I figured out that when you look at where something's been, like when you buy an ODYS domain, when you go in there and they tell you this would make a good, this type of site or that type of site, that's based on the historical profile of everything with that website. Like let's just call it the bucket or the GST data, whatever the hell we want to call it in the link profile. But when you go back and look at sites that have been sitting there, if they've dropped, if you have network sites that are lower, what you do is you go back and look at the latest, like where they were, what was going on, what's in the profile, and you can make a smart decision on how to theme that site at that point currently for where the SERPs are. And then what I've talked to a lot of people lately that's got, I've got this network of 1,000 sites, this one of 500 sites, this one of like 350 or something. And they are just doing individual sites. So they've taken the time to set up protection for the hosting like they would be linking with because they're generating revenue. Well, that's the opposite side of building a PBN for link building, right? Now it's time to maximize what you have going on with the network and potentially use that in stages to cross link or actually push up something that is in a little more competitive space, right? And so there's always these leaks we make and leave in our sites and our profiles that are like, not losing money, but they're leaving money on the table, and we're not.
Dude, just throw fucking AdSense on some shit too. Yeah. I had an Otis domain that I had built out, forgot about it. I threw AdSense on it. It's doing $5 a day. I know that's not huge money, but fuck, until I figure out what I want to do with it, it's making me money. So it's paying for the hosting.
Black Jay, I sent you a Skype message. I thought it was you. I didn't see anything come through. So if I missed you afterwards, I'm sorry, dude, but I did look for you.
Nice. That's sweet.
But good job closing that cannabis stuff. That's awesome, dude.
Those are all good contracts, especially when you find the right biz owner to work.
I'll take my 10 points now, brother.
Yeah. I'll take 10 points as well, please.
Yeah. Craig will take 10. I'll take 10 and Brad will take 10. You get 70.
I'll actually take 5, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll take 3 then.
I'm a cheap one.
Hi all. If I promote my website off the internet and people type my address in, I presume Google wouldn't know about it and it doesn't push KTR. What's KTR?
Is it click-through rate?
Maybe the CTR. It wouldn't be CTR, but it would be traffic that they see.
Yeah, they'll see it. It's direct traffic. They've got Chrome. If you have enough people typing it in, a certain portion of them are using Chrome. They're using Android. That's why they have Android, is to collect data. They don't have to worry about Apple shutting them off like Facebook does, because they have their own operating system that they derive data from. Yeah.
And I mean, it's especially with where they're taking like third-party data, really paying attention to what's going on, where they are seeing stuff. Like, it's important to know what devices they have their hands in, what software they're in, because they're going to be a closed network. And I think they really are looking forward to the fact that they're going to be one of the biggest providers of data once they close off, once third-party data becomes more of a bitch to use.
That was like, I didn't understand the Android thing back in the day, because I wasn't that deep into it. And now looking back, I'm like, that's fucking brilliant.
When I first started, so it was like 2007, I think, when I first started looking at how CTR and direct traffic and all this stuff might affect search, like detailed, because I was making money with Google by install of Firefox, because Google wanted the data out of Firefox. So they were paying $1 for every install you did on Firefox. And for a long time, they let a lot of shit slide. I made a lot of money doing that. And they eventually they built Chrome, and they shifted away from Mozilla and Firefox because they no longer needed that platform. They're in there anyways because of a lot of different APIs and things. They still have that data. But it's very interesting when you start looking at who's in charge over there, the directions. That's why I brought up this thing, Search On, for the 28th, is because when they get on there and they start talking about certain things, it should be something you're paying attention to. And you should go back and look at what the updates have been, how it's affected your website, and kind of project and predict the future of how it will affect you in the future. And so it's a good way to kind of keep on top of all that shit. Yeah. I think a lot of them are doing it and have been doing it. But that one, like I said, I told you what it is, and I'm going to kick you. Don't spend it.
Is it expensive?
No, not necessarily expensive, but it can be cheaper and done yourself.
Yeah.
But like she said, it's the devil's work.
It is. It sucks. As Kyle would say,
you can do it this way. She said, that's the devil's work.
It is. That's the VA's work if you want to hire them.
It's the devil's work. Where's the money though? Oh, he said the way my bank account is set up, he can't share. I knew you meant to. When signing clients to retainer, do you guys include a tech cost? I don't tell them what it is, but it's in there. I'm going to cover it.
Yeah, it's all covered. I mean, if I don't need a separate SEMrush account, then I'm not going to typically do it, anything like that. But I know people like Clint will tell them, sign up for this linking service. It's monthly. It's going to be a part of the SEO campaign. Then send me your login and I'll log in and use it.
And that's a good way to do it as a consultant, right? Like it actually builds trust. I think it's a good method. And I've worked like that before. It's just not how I typically work.
No, yeah. With ours, there's not really a service to go out and buy like the way that Mike and I do it. I mean, it's
not
content
unless you're in
and
New Jersey or Vegas. And then there's a service to buy.
well, yes. Not SEO related though.
And Giorgio did mean CTR, not KTR.
I was thinking like keyword traffic ratio or something.
That's the new one.
That's what it is. KTR, dude. KTR, the keyword traffic ratio.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do SEO without that calculation. The KTR formula.
Yeah, it's an algorithm, advanced. Very advanced.
That's what's coming out on the 28th with KTR.
Yeah, the KTR.
Yeah. It would be funny if it was something like that.
They're just going to tell us they're going to put more of their fucking shit in front of our snippets, dude. Watch. Because that's what they've been doing this fucking last month. It's just taking real estate away from fucking.
Yeah, a lot of it, you got to scroll.
Dude. But I mean, like it's crazy to see no changes in positioning and certain things and just see traffic drop. It's kind of crazy to see a large portion of that happen.
But impressions are up, Mike.
That's okay.
That's what we're showing.
That only works if you're on your own website and you're getting paid in RPM.
Mm-hmm. I'm not. I'm getting paid in calls.
You're getting paid in kind.
Paid in kind?
Yeah.
Like weed? You don't call weed kind out there, do you? Or kind?
He calls it the devil's tobacco.
The devil's tobacco.
The devil's tobacco. It's the devil's work.
Oh man.
That's what Maeve smokes while she's putting in content clusters.
Maeve smokes weed to do content clusters.
She smokes the devil's tobacco while she's doing the devil's work. Yes.
Yeah. We were in the mastermind talking about SOPs for content. I forgot to add in the smoking weed part.
It's key.
Yeah, you need an SEO ashtray. If you don't have an SEO one, get them on Amazon. Get one that says spam in it. It's just like yellow and blue. And get that for an ashtray if you're going to be doing the devil's tobacco while you're doing SEO.
Flavia, like I want to know who actually was the one that started saying that they were coming after AI and shit and all that stuff.
The answer is yes, I do. I even checked old sites, search shaker sites I'd forgotten about. And they're fucking ranking like keyword plus city, keyword plus state.
Realistically, a lot of the helpful content stuff, to me, I saw a lot of query landscape change and a lot of new media come up and push down click-through rate, basically.
I feel like that just adds another layer to keyword research. But once you put that extra layer in, then you can kind of divert away from a lot of that stuff.
I think that we're going to talk a little bit about that at the event on how that affects like the AI and how you actually should be leveraging that and the AI to actually take advantage of what they're doing. Brad left.
Or he's away to do a wee. But so the event itself, how many speakers have you got?
There's 6, but it's kind of for the part that we're doing with the site, it's kind of a workshop. I would like people to bring a domain. They don't have to because there'd be follow-up for that part. But yeah, we've got Niche Website Builders is coming out. You, Brad, we have Chris Palmer, me, myself, and then Corey Rose will be talking there too and doing some stuff there. So I think that's where we're at right now.
A nice range of different people doing different shit is always good.
What's that at the event? Yeah. It's funny because I think Corey's gonna actually show how to integrate Fiverr because I brought up Fiverr about the PPL stuff. He's gonna try to integrate it within his agency. I think is what he mentioned too.
He did mention it. I need to call him today to finalize a couple things with him, so I'll do that after.
Tell him that time is in Eastern.
Yeah, I will.
But yeah, that is a packed fucking day. Like when Mike and I sat down and like put the speaker list together and we're working out the schedule and shit like that. It's like, oh, this is fucking.
Yeah, we went online because of the requests, because of people in Ireland, Australia, and the Netherlands. I don't know.
The nether regions of the world. Yeah.
And Scotland as well, Maeve. So I'll be sitting in my fat ass.
Are you not going to come to Greensboro to sit on the SEO casting couch? Yeah, the couch pulls out. I don't, but the couch does.
I don't know.
You can just sit here.
And Germany for Tim.
Yes, in Germany. Everyone get signed up because have we talked about the bonus on here that Mike and I are handing out to everyone to join?
Nope.
I don't know if I want to say it on here. We won't say it.
Hurry up.
No, I don't want to say it.
Come on.
No, I'm not going to do it.
At least teases it.
I'll say it. I'll say it.
Yeah.
Mike and I have decided, because we wanted the hybrid workshop area, and that was a way for us to kind of look over people's shoulders, make sure they're doing the shit before they leave. When you go online, you don't really have that. So I was like, Mike, what about offering a one-on-one coaching session, not with he and I together, but with he and I separate. So you get a full hour, 30-minute coaching session for everyone that signs up. All you got to do is get your shit together from the event, actually start working on it, and then schedule the call after the event. So you'll get a 30-minute call with Mike and myself separately. So we'll have 2 different Calendlies, all that stuff. So pretty badass. Clothing? Yeah. I should have a shirt on that day, usually.
Let me just clarify, though. So the rules are they've got to have a domain name and shit, though.
No, they don't.
I would like them to be working on something.
Something.
Yeah, because otherwise we're going to show up and it's like, okay, show me what you're working on so I can kind of help you test it or help you tune it up and then give you some action.
We want them to bring it because the process, how long to the money? How long till you're in money on some of those sites, dude?
One of them, I already had the site set up, but I just did, it wasn't making money. So I went in and did what I'm going to go over, and it was making money within a week for sure.
So it makes sense for anybody that's running a PBN or that's doing any individual sites to come in and run a process like this if they'd like additional revenue, is what it sounds like.
It was a rehab informational site.
Yeah.
Made. So it was substance abuse. I get paid on the calls. To be
what you should do, though, you mentioned that the niche website builder guys were going to be there. I had a call with them earlier on today, actually, and what we were talking about was, they have built 5,000 websites over the last couple of years, right? They have now got the data to see, how much content do you need to be adding before you see X amount of money? Because if I say to you, how much content is going to take for you to have a website that earns $1,000, and you're going to say, I'm just going to sling 30 articles at it and some links and fucking.
I sling my city list for rehab is about 1,300. So I typically do 1,300 pages at a time for rehab.
I think that James and my conversation at Niche Website Builders is coming out this week, the video we did. And we were discussing a few things. It was interesting because we were talking a bit afterwards, and we're all seeing the same shit. They have a lot of data. We do stuff a little bit differently. We've used them, and I've got sites that have worked with them and then had to touch up after time. And so it's really important to see that kind of data. So when you have somebody like that, they know what they can suggest. And so like with the NFG Secret plugin, right? When you have the ability to look at thousands of sites over, 18, 20 years or whatever, and then thousands of words of content over how long? Like they've been around for a while, haven't they?
Website builders?
Website builders, it's been a while.
We're not that old, actually. Maybe 2 years. Nah, they're not
relevant though. But when you have that data and when you can look at multiple sites, it's very beneficial because we all kind of look at what we're seeing and then go, oh, it's this. But we're a drop in a fucking ocean, dude. Like our sites, like we're just a tiny bit of what's going on. We can't make a decision based on that for all of SEO. And that's why we always talk about focusing on what we're actually marketing on, because we don't see shit. The more you see, the better it is over multiple markets. So someone like Niche Website Builders with that kind of data is a very good ally to have in your marketing, I think.
Yeah. It's that was just interesting to hear what they say. They reckon they can tell some certain things from the data, and yeah, I think that try and extort as much of that as you can from those guys, because they, like we've always said, the data is important. You can't just make decisions based on what fucking Mike said at a bar when he was drunk, or
right. Because I might tell you about KTR.
Yeah, so data-led decisions are important. So I think they're an interesting bunch to have on there, and I think if anyone is watching that is going, pick their brains, because they do have that fucking data. They've done enough websites now to be able to give us some fucking information.
I think that like the individual presentations are worth going personally. Like I'm looking forward to all of them, to be honest. So the processes that you get from that and the ability to roll out like revenue generating sites is extremely important. Without having to have staff is key in my head anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
Mike and I, how many VAs do you have right now, Mike? None.
We have 30. The link building stuff is
that's a service we use for the most part. That's what I consider it. Yeah.
Building a site myself, no, nothing. It's not hard to roll a site out.
I have Drew who does my websites for me, and I just ping him. So I don't consider him a VA.
No, he's a service,
Yeah.
He is absolutely a service.
But it's a smart way of working. Why would you want to have all the stress?
Yeah, I mean, if you get it down, I know Will. I don't know if he's still on, but he's huge on VAs, right? So
yeah,
if you get it down, then go with what you're good at. I'm not good at managing VAs or people or talking to people or being around people. Yeah.
The only thing is, from Willie's perspective, because someone I was talking to was talking about Willie before. Are they VAs? They're fucking employees, because he's staying out there, right? So, but yeah, so they are VA/employees.
When I was in San Diego, I kept an office and I kept it staffed with employees. Like that's one thing. But like, I don't like the digital market. I don't want a digital office that I have to be there all the time on a different time zone. Or
we've worked with people like that were all about VAs, and they would hire them like 5, 10 at a time. And it's like, are you going to hop on the VA meeting? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not hopping on any VA meeting. It's every morning at 8 o'clock. Oh, God damn it. I'm like, what do we do?
I do like to use that excuse when people try to get me on the phone at night. Be like, nah, I got to talk to my team. My team is my wife and the TV, dude.
Yeah. And your wife's not usually there. So it's just the wall.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sometimes I have a better conversation with the wall. Can we cut that out?
I'm going to cut. What was that at? 51 minutes past. 47 minutes into the live.
Yeah,
we'll cut that.
Maeve, whatever you want to bring. I personally like PPL. That's where I'm really focusing on. That's where I've been focusing on for a while.
It does not need to be PPL. Let me say that.
It doesn't. Yeah, because we're going to have a wide array, but it's going to all go back to automation, AI, doing as much as you can in as little time as possible. So mine is going to be like that, focused on PPL, and you can bring whatever. So
it'll work on ClickBank. It'll work on, if you want a PBN site that's generating some revenue, like it'll work for that. Like it
works for fucking AdSense.
Yeah, AdSense. It's just about getting sites up in an effective manner and getting them put together so they'll make money and rank and make money.
Rank and bank. Is that what they say?
They do. I don't know who says that, but someone does.
We had someone that wanted to create a company and take it public with just rank and rent sites at one point.
You think that's possible?
No,
I don't.
No, that's why we suggested against it.
Not at all, dude.
There's some fucking maniac that probably has tried it and probably came close to success, though, right?
You never know, dude. I've seen some pretty fucking crazy shit.
If you're going to take anything public, it's going to either be SaaS or some type of agency. Like
I take my SaaS public all the time, baby.
Yeah, it's very public and cheap though. So, but yeah, like SEMrush, are they public?
Yeah, they are. You can create them.
Yeah. So, you've got to have something like that. And I hate if there's anything I hate more than clients, it's development, SaaS development. So
I just hate people.
You got to deal with some goofy ass people when you're developing SaaS.
Dude. Yeah.
It's out with my comfort zone as well. It's one of those things I stay clear of.
When it gets into the support, and a lot of the time people don't analyze cost the right way, in my opinion. Like
on the support side,
like literally, if you don't know how much a single fucking transfer is going to cost you, you're going to get in trouble down the line.
Especially with AWS, because AWS will make their money.
You will end up with tetrabytes of transfer and various things that you need to pay for. And so it can be a bitch if you don't do that properly. I got lucky, man. Like it's hard to find people that do it right. But when I did it with Subel was a government, a military contractor that ran a huge development team. And I was able to kind of learn from her a little bit on some of that shit that made some of the stuff I wrote and sold a lot easier to do.
Well, the shit that they did, I mean, ultimately it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Their marketing was a little odd at times. But their software's in shit.
Did you see Jimmy? Did I send you the link that Jimmy Kelly Digital sold to someone in Adelaide? Probably Mike or something like that. I saw a press release someone sent me.
No, send it to me.
I will.
We tried to buy it.
We tried to buy it in 2016. You're right.
Yeah, 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. Yeah, he wanted to be out of the game. So we said, we can buy it from you. And he said no. And they decide to stay in. Well, it's odd when you talk about like quitting or retiring or getting out of the game or whatever, and someone offers you money for your assets. You're like, well, maybe I should. Maybe I am building something that's worth something. It's funny. Like you want to bet. Like it's like it goes back to like if someone says something, be like, no, that's wrong. They're like, no, it's right. And you're like, you want to bet, and it makes them think about that decision.
You can change minds. It's really interesting the way it works, dude. Like it's cool. Psychology's fun. All right. No one's asked any fucking questions for a while, so I'm going to read Search Engine Journal and see what's going on in the industry here.
Did you ever watch my Search Engine Journal interview yet, Mike?
All right, dude.
Fucking, you promised you were going to come and heckle me.
I know. I didn't want to embarrass you in front of your friend.
Your one and only friend.
Your pool friend.
Flavia is asking, is it
online, Flavia?
It's online, but it is Orlando is Eastern time. So yes, it would be Orlando time.
Is Flavia in Orlando? That is the question I've got.
I hope not. No, I mean I hope he didn't go for the event thinking it was in Orlando.
It was I was speaking to a dude because the plan for me was I was going to go to a Terry Samuels event. And
that was recently, right? I didn't even know he had one until after it happened.
It was like a few days ago, and then I was going to come to your event in Orlando. Then I was going to go over to Nashville, and a guy that was at Terry Samuels' event's like, yeah, dude, just the other day, like, what time? When are you all getting to Florida? I might pop up and see you guys. I'm like, dude, it's fucking online now. That's all out the window, man. But yeah, he was literally going to just fucking rock up. Just to chill with people.
Was he at the Web 20 Ranker guys event? Was that what was? That was it, right? That wasn't Terry's event.
No, it was Terry's event.
Oh, do you have an event too?
By Web 20 Ranker.
I just saw them pushing the ads. I didn't know that was his event.
So yeah, and Mike.
NFG 2022, Giorgio. NFG2022.com.
I will put it in the chat again. I can't multitask.
And it is less than a week now. It's creeping up.
Less than a week.
Yeah, I've got the site that I'll show and everything. I'm going to see if I can get some rankings on that before the event. I just threw it up this morning. Then I got to put the presentation together, but it's going to be solid. So
I'll probably be on the online one. I'll probably be
there is only an online one, Alex. So yes, you will be on the online one, or you won't be on at all.
So I have a question, Craig. Did I make up the term freeze-dried tabs?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see.
Are you sharing your screen here?
No.
No. Freeze-dried tabs.
I want to know in the comments if I made up the term freeze dried tabs.
You made up the fucking term. Did I tell you about the lads in my mastermind talking about
please do that.
A social fortress and an SEO shield?
Yeah, last week we talked about that.
Fucking bastards.
That social fortress is Rob and Marco, I think, dude.
We used the Ozone back in the day.
You did. You had Ozone. It's a golden ring, bro.
Fucking.
It's in Search Engine Journal. Freeze dried tabs.
It's actually, they're trying to speed up mobile.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Interactive screenshots, speeding up web pages 20% with a technology called freeze dried tabs. New technology is used during transitional moments such as cold startup.
So Web Core Vitals, basically they're trying to speed shit up by taking snaps of the website and hyperlinks and building it back up with vector graphics for the browser on Android, in Chrome.
Interesting. Maeve is saying Darren has always told me to build a social fortress.
Basically, we call it an entity. Like it's your there's a lot you can go into someone's site and you can see that they've done a lot of things right and then realize they didn't build any fucking brand signals, right? And a social fortress or whatever the hell you want to call it, a stack, anything that is what a normal business does. They have a page on social media, they have Twitter, they have this or that, and that's all tied together, and they do their marketing and they push it out like they're marketing, right? That is a fortress. It makes something strong is the way why they say it or something, but that's an entity. That's your business entity. That is who you are in your ID, in that bucket in Google's eyes. And so go ahead.
I was just going to say, I had an interesting conversation, lunch meeting the other day. Kelsey has a trainer and she's like, can you help her with her SEO and getting leads and everything? I was like, yes, but I don't want any money. I was like, we'll just go have lunch with her, or meet with her at the gym or whatever. I can just brain dump on her and like write everything down. And then she is in charge of going and doing that. So interesting portion of the conversation was it relates back to the entity establishment. So Kelsey will always look at, like, before she hires anyone or does anything, look at their GMB reviews. And she mentioned Facebook. She'll go and see if they have an active Facebook, or they posting regularly and shit like that. And that's part of her decision making when deciding to go with a company. And it was interesting because the chick is like, I am 36, Kelsey I think is 33, and this chick was like 24, 25, so younger. And she's like, oh, I do that, except I check their Instagram profile. I was like, you do what?
I wonder what Google sees when they see someone go to GMB, read a review, jump onto a Facebook and read some posts, and then type in that business name into the browser or the search bar and hit their website. Like,
if it's Chrome or Android, they see all of it. Yeah.
I wonder if they might
tie that
put
together,
a signal around that about, hey, this is a legitimate thing or not. So should we emulate that or should we not emulate that?
Or should we emulate user interaction within their Google business profile? Maybe.
I don't know.
I kind of told her to, so I hope so. But yeah, it was like, I gave her the full, like a cognitive printout. I was like, here, mention. She's like, I actually have a copywriter. I was like, oh, perfect. Give this to them. Tell them to mention as many of these fucking words on the website as you can. Yeah. I was like, do that. And then I went over.
Let me guess, that was the use more and use out of cognitive.
What's that?
Was that the use more and use out of cognitive?
It was everything. Yeah. It was, you already use, I highlighted that in green, use, and then use more. So it's easy. I mean, it's fucking like personal trainer plus small city in North Carolina. It should be fucking easy.
In the webinar and when we were talking about it, you have like what the query builds out on Google, right? And are we over? We got a minute. You build the query out, Google knows what they want to see, and we determine from data what that is. And then if we have those modifiers and we talk about the right things on that page, then we get to rank for that, are those queries or the set of queries. So if you can pull out a list of modifiers from something that is solid with the way they scrape and they pull data, like cognitive or an entity tool, not the APIs and shit, but real data, then you can actually just put that on page and you trigger on things, right? What do you do after that?
What you build out the cluster after that, after you're done with the specific page.
Yeah. But also, I mean, you can come back in and optimize and strengthen those terms once they trigger and hit.
Yeah. So
it's pretty fucking straightforward. So what do you call the social fortress, Craig?
I certainly wouldn't call it a social fortress. I would just call that doing your fucking job. Like
entity is the correct usage.
Entity.
Yeah.
Entity establishment.
It's
I say entity establishment. Fucking say it, Craig.
Hey, I've got something. If you guys heard of Dan Pena,
yeah,
you have that.
I love Dan Pena. Yeah, he lives over
Castle. Mr. Castle.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of his shit recently, man. Just
That's
the way
good.
you said, you're fucking.
He's got a coaching program. Fucking say it. Entity. We should we should at some point. Probably won't do any live events anymore unless Mike allows me to do it at a castle and we can have a few people and I can fucking talk to everyone like that.
Hey, you know the Pena,
build the fucking links.
But in the earlier years when he was doing that, apparently he used to fucking like choke people and shit like that.
I believe it. Yeah, he has a gun that he has.
That reminds me. We'll close on this. At basic training, we're marching. And my buddy's out of step, and fucking sergeant comes over and fucking puts the strap from his canteen on his neck and starts twisting this fucking shit as his eyes pop out, his face turns fucking red, dude. And he went down like that, man. So that's Dan Pena for you. He's a drill sergeant.
He was in there. To answer Black Jay's question, I know he's been waiting for a while. You will have access to the recordings. All the people that purchased before or attend live will have access to the recordings. Mike and I haven't discussed if we're going to sell those afterwards, but in order to get the recordings, if you miss one or you need to watch it again or whatever, we want to provide that. That's one of the benefits of being online. So.
And we can't we can't sell all of it if we sold any of it just because it's a live event. So you can replay them if you go to the event. Yeah.
Correct.
Also, it gives you the opportunity. So the time I came to NFG Rockstars in 2019, when my talk was heavily edited for the videos that went out. So are these guys going to be editing anything that does go out in a replay or shortening it down?
We might have to with yours.
Put
a disclaimer.
No, Craig is cleaning up and rebranding. He doesn't even put our picture on the video anymore because he's cleaning his brand up, bro.
I just forgot today. I forgot.
I'm teasing you, dude. But no, at some point you have to stop. I'm trying not to talk about certain things anymore. I'm not very good at it though.
But no, I think you have to be there. Make sure you go live. That's where the good shit's at. Replay.
Well, then you get you're not going to get a coaching call if you don't go to the live portion.
What's really cool is that like the AI and the ML and the deep learning that's out there, like that Google uses, is that we can use that to our advantage to the point where Google will even do your cloaking for you legitimately. Like it's pretty sick what you can do right now. That's supposed to be black hat, but is tweaked to something that is completely acceptable when you do it a certain way with certain data. So it's actually a really cool time to come and like learn these processes. I think the network, the site stuff is a great start for network building. And Craig, you're talking about flipping and buying, or what do you?
Yeah.
And so to me, it's a very good opportunity to understand those two things in and of themselves just alone. You have a situation where you've got ODYS. You also can flip and buy sites like what Craig's going to talk about. Then you can create, sites on them with what the process from Brad, or new sites that will actually drive further revenue for further growth. And then you can put that all together and you actually have a fucking business that will generate.
Build it with fucking Fiverr.
Yeah. And you don't need to go out and build a huge team and worry about it. And then after that, what's cool is that Corey talking about the agency portion, you can take all of that and tack on top of it the agency. So it really kind of, if you're doing PPL, you're doing affiliate, or you're doing agency, it's a good way to come in and understand how to expand that business and make more money with whatever you're doing right now. Because those all flow together to make a solid portfolio and a solid way to generate revenue. So that's what I'm excited about, to seeing everyone's shit come together.
Yeah, it's come together this year. I feel like better than any other year that we've had multiple speakers.
I just won't get punched in the fucking gut this year by you. I had to go home one year and go to the doctor because of Brad.
It starts 11 o'clock because I'm trying to be more mindful of other people at the moment. So I'm not starting it until 11 o'clock Eastern because I figure that's 8 o'clock Pacific, and it's not too late for the overseas crowd. So
I talked to Chris yesterday, and he's making slides right now. He's excited. I need to get the
G&B hacks. That's all I fucking know, but I know his shit is good.
Detail and stuff.
It's no big deal. I don't need it. G&B hacks from Chris Palmer is all I need to fucking know. So
anytime Chris starts talking about a process, I get excited because he sees stuff in a very special way that I love.
Yeah,
because he's special guy. Special guy.
Yeah.
I love some Chris.
But
I'm looking forward to seeing you, dude, out in Malta, bro. Too. That'll be fun. So
yeah, have fun getting stabbed by Adrian. Be a good time. I'll be here.
That's 4 p.m. Irish time.
That's it.
4 p.m. Irish time.
So I hear. I don't know.
That means you can bring wine and a cocktail dress.
I will have both. Yes. Oh, you talking about Craig?
No, Maeve.
No,
You in a dress.
Anyway, guys.
All right, Otis.
Otis and NFG2022.com.
NFG 2022.
Don't miss it, guys. See you all later.